Can't find my earbuds and that in. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Maybe I should turn the light on. I've changed the light bulb to a super powerful one meant for painting, but hope I don't get eye strain, but should be fine. Okay. Did I actually do anything yesterday? Let me turn this down. Tweaks and changes. No idea what that was, but actually let me turn myself off. Okay. So yeah, the name change is underway. Steam is at it, but I'm not quite sure when they're done. What I did today, preparation for that, is I moved the website. I've changed a few socials. I changed the profile picture, but that was a long time coming. And actually yesterday I redid all the assets for the store, and yeah, today the last thing I had to do was add the shortcut icon for the desktop symbols, so I did that. And then today, actually that was partly today. So today I thought about the progression in the game and what the player does, along the way. And I'm still not sure, but what I came up with is a bit of lore, a bit of history for the game, and yeah, that just became much clearer, especially with the new name. And then what I did in the last hour, which is kind of a big change, is I added back in the movement animations, which was relatively easy. There's still a bug that I'll have to fix next, but if you move now in the game, you're translated between positions, as are of course, all the enemies. So you can still move as fast as you want, but yeah, it's smooth now. The one thing that actually has gameplay implications is that you can much more easily see the movement. You can much more easily track the movement of the enemies on the screen. So, I mean, this is more of a marketing move to make the game prettier, but it's also more satisfying. And I mean, it may take away from the fantasy, because you're really you could see your character as a stone sliding around, but I think all in all, that's a good change. There might still be bugs. I did this half an hour ago. I know of two problems. One problem is stairs. So if you look closely, the player will clip into the stairs while going down. Saved myself there. Yeah, it's only going down. So if I move to the left, you see it clipping. That's simply because the player position is the height of the player tile, and all the other tiles or entities I should say, is defined by the tile beneath. So if I move to the left, the player immediately gets his height set according to the stairs. So the player moves up and then over, because the player immediately gets the height. But if I move downward, the player also immediately gets the height and clips into the terrain and moves. I mean, it's not pretty, but I'm not sure how I would solve this, so I'll just postpone it. The other bug is more jarring, and that is leaving interiors, in that the camera, for some reason, I don't know why, moves too far up. Let me see. Here's an interior. So if I move in, okay, I only thought it was when exiting, but it also moved up too high. If I move, it will come down. And okay, this time exterior is okay. Maybe it has to do with north, south. Weird. Oh yeah, there's another one. Yeah, interior is fine. Exterior is messed up. Why would that be? Oh, is the player height? Does the camera think it's one tile up? Because that would make sense for the other entrance as well. So the camera height lags behind, but then catches itself. That's weird. But yeah, I did change the code for the camera for the animations. And could be a rounding error. So I made it that the camera is lerping all the time. Actually, it's a spring damper thing. And previously, the camera always oriented it oriented itself by the tile position of the player, but now I've changed it so that it looks at the animated position of the player, so that the lerping is smoother. And that's a big plus. But if it's looking at the lerped position of the player, and it could be the stairs, the entrance. I mean, if I exit, well, actually, it just moves one tile south and one layer up. And that is what it does. I switch layers, then yeah, you move in here and then you're there. So not quite sure, but let's look at the code that's in render. And here it is. Actually, it gets... No, I've turned this into a float. That could be the problem. Let's see. Let's see if the animated position is the problem. Wait, the camera is stuck. Okay, that's even weirder. Camera is stuck on this, what's it called? On this beam left to the player. For no apparent reason. Oh, and it's... Okay, it's freaking out because... This is dizzying. It's freaking out because I flawed the floating point position. So this is the hero visual position as opposed to game position. So it might be that I made this a floating point. So So the floats all get turned into integers, these function calls, the parameters. Yeah, this is actually the height. This should be the hero position, the normal position. Let's see if this works. The vector is still a float vector, but it gets fed the hero position now. And that works. Okay, so there's an error. I think I know what it is. Actually, okay, could that be? So how I'm doing the animations is pretty simple. I'm just in the update loop. I approach the new position from the old position for every entity. If an entity moves, it saves the last position. And the last position gets then, over the next couple of frames, moved in direction of the actual position. So there might be a problem with it hanging on a 9.996 or something, not getting to the correct position 100%. And that would, of course, if I cast the float to an end, that'll be the lesser number still. So that could be a reason. So let's look at the code here. Oh yeah, that's stupid. That runs right over. So should be evp.x plus this whole stuff. But then stop. This is... I hate this code. So what it does is it takes the difference between the, well, I've called it previous position, but visual position and previous position is the same. So it takes the difference between the current and the visual position and then adds a fraction of that every frame to the visual position until it's the same as the current position, but it's not clamped. is not clamped. I think I'm 100% sure that there's an easy mathematical solution here, but I'm just too bad at math. So let's do it the stupid way. So if it's less than, move it add this difference. Does that make sense? Don't think so. So the difference is a vector, kind of. So it's always plus. Okay, but the clamping is different. So let's say min f e p dot x. If it's greater than this, do the same thing. This is the max float. That makes sense. And then y, same thing. Actually, yeah, this is missing. Parenthesis max f. This is less than, greater than. This is horrible code, but I mean, if it works, then that's fine. Let's see what I did. Yeah, and I killed it. Okay, walking to the right still works. Well, the right and down. So the negative movements don't work. These. Oh, that's also min f. No. Okay, then I can. I mean, then I have a duplicate function. Yeah, but this seems to work. And the errors seems fixed. Can't believe it. Oh, yeah, it's fixed because it's not active. Not a surprise. Okay, let's see here. And it does still. That did not solve the problem. Do I have the cam here? No. Great. Okay, but this is now exactly the same code. So this works. I mean, looks like it. Okay, so the camera problem is... Where is it? Should I just round this? It's a bit excessive, but... I mean, it worked. Okay, I've tested north. How about south? Okay, that works. East works, and well, where do I have a western entrance? Not sure I have one, but there's one. Looks good to me. Yeah. Okay. So that's fixed. The next thing is this thing right here. These words of the things around you. I'm not sure if I want them always on. I'm imagining a option to turn them off. But options are mostly, most of the time, bad. So maybe let's leave it on. want to test something. I have a... Actually, let's commit this. Not that one. What was I saying? Yeah, I have a toggle. That makes everything uppercase. And I've been playing with that for months now. Because on the one hand, it makes things easier to read. But it also makes the game feel more arcadey. Which is not necessarily what I want. But it also makes it more archaic is the wrong word. More wow, what's a good word for what I mean? It's not strong. It makes the game more strong. That's too simple. It makes it feel more. I mean, it makes it feel simpler. It makes it feel knowable, maybe. But I don't think it fits the theme. This is not Conan the Barbarian. Kind of, but not really. You're not Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the font, what's really bad about the lowercase font, and this font, I mean, yeah, it doesn't change anything if it's uppercase or lowercase. What's been a problem for forever is, and it's not solvable with this font, is the W letter and the letter N. I mean, N is serviceable, but W is, or W and M are both very, very bad or very hard to read. Do I have, yeah, music here, for example, or menu. But yeah, that's actually unrelated. That's just how it is. And I don't plan to dump whole books of text onto the player, so it should be fine. Because I definitely won't change the font. I might, if I really have to, I might scale it. I've done this before, scale it up twice in size and then fill out the rough edges with extra pixels. That makes it really readable in comparison, but also really generic. So yeah, I think it's too strong. the everything uppercase. Yeah, and looking over, I just saw I really need a better icon for food. Or just make it red, maybe. Okay, so this goes away. Yeah, it's much more friendly. Okay, so I won't add a toggle for the help right now. But what I really need to do is update the control page. So here under controls, wrong button. I have this txt file basically. And that needs to be brought into shape. Because I've also changed the controls a tiny bit. So yesterday I tried out the space bar for accept, but that just does not feel right to me, at least. So keyboard, I'm talking about keyboard controls. So controller is set. I've moved a key on the controller, so pushing and pulling the boulders is now the same button as accept and pick up item, which I think suggests that you're using your hand to grab onto something, and that's what pushing the boulder does. Shooting is on the left button, west, that's square on Xbox. And I've removed the thumbstick movement because that was just too confusing. I mean, for Ethan, who tried it yesterday, and for me, because I have two control schemes on the same input device, which is bad. But now for the keyboard, I've set it up that so the keyboard maps to the controller. No, the other way around. The gamepad maps onto the keyboard. So I have 6 buttons and the control, the directional buttons. So accept is F, square, which is shoot, is D, cancel or square is S. So you lay your hand there on with your index finger on F. And then menu is tab. And which button am I missing? Oh yeah, that's the four buttons on the gamepad. That's F, D, S, tab. Then I have start on the gamepad, which is escape. And that's it. That are the 4 input buttons that you can have on one hand, and escape, which is pretty good, I think, because it's near the WASD keys, but it's not as cramped, and it lies on the touch typing key F, so that's also natural. control, so D-pad maps onto the arrow keys. I would like it if it was also on HJKL, but my code just doesn't provide that right now. But that would be ideal if I have HJKL. That's my preferred way of playing it, but it's disabled right now. So, and arrow keys are, yeah, much more natural to people. So, let's think about remapping buttons. How complicated is that? Let me look at well, actually, let's think it through. Let's say I want to map that configuration. Let's say I want to map the arrow keys on the keyboard to HJKL. So that means up, down, left, right need to be individual entries in the list. Which sounds horrible. Okay. Oh, isn't it that games provide you with alternative control schemes? I think Nintendo does it that way. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was working in audio engineering, there was this software called Pro Tools, which is still, I think, in this industry standard today. And what was crazy about it was that all the keyboard shortcuts were fixed. couldn't change a single key. But what was amazing about that is that you could walk up to every workstation and just control the software. That's of course not a feature I need, but I'm always thinking fond of their decision. So I know that alienates people with disabilities, for example, that might really need to change the key bindings. But how many games don't allow you to change the keys? I mean, Tetris certainly doesn't. Maybe. I mean, the newer ones might. One thing is, if I, let's say, I have this menu for controls, and you want to change the up arrow, the up command, so that the player moves up in the world. If I change that from arrow key to, what is it? J? Then let's say I have a field where the current key is. I activate that field, and then with up and down I scroll through all the buttons that are available for that action, which is move up. If I change that from the arrow key upwards to J, or whatever it is, that should of course not change the action in the menu. The menu should still be up and down with the arrow keys. Is that my way out? Can I say, well, that wouldn't work? Changing arrow keys, and I mean arrow keys are basically all you need in the game. I think you could complete the game with just arrow keys if you're not using the inventory. So let's make the control page prettier, more legible, but let's not add key rebinding. I mean, I can always add that later, but I feel like that's the gains from that are too high for what I have to put in it. Right now, at least. After release, I have all the time in the world, probably. Oh, hey guys. Didn't see you there. My chat is broken. Not seeing anything. Now I see you. Oh yeah, that's because that's the old chat. Look what Rangedrifter dragged in. Yeah. You know, happier profile picture, yeah. Yeah, that's it, sorry. How you doing, guys? Yeah, that's the new name. Steam is still added. Steam is still changing it. I'm not sure when that will go through. It's a classic mistake. Changing the chat and not updating it. Sorry about that. Let me write a test message. Oh yeah, see it. Good, just probably unpacking stuff from London to wash clothes and hang up on the wall once. Sounds cozy. Gotta mentally prepare for the works tomorrow. I will likely get drunk alongside my colleagues. That sounds good as well. Mentally prepare. I can show you the new website. If you haven't seen already, because that is live. Yeah, so it looks like the old one, but there's a new logo. And I'm thinking about finding another job. Oh, okay, nice. That's exciting, Andre. So yeah, that's the new logo. Looks basically like the old one. For context, it works. Do is if you don't have same over there, it's basically a night out at a bar, restaurant with your workplace. Oh, okay, I dreaded those. Works too, right? I'll remember that. But we have them here as well. But it depends on the company. My current company has awful of management. It's basically extinguishing fires every day. Okay, I can relate to that. Not now, but in the past. Well, it's nice. Explain the vision for the name. So, the vision for the name is there's no vision really. So I took what's core to the game and I packaged it up. So Rangedrifter means there's a range, there's huge expanse, and you're drifting through it as you are with the paths that are ever changing. Going to a place called Boom Battle Bar, which is axe throwing, beer pouring, and a handful of other games that involve mostly drinking. Okay, that actually sounds funny, fun. I mean, if you like your coworkers, that should be pretty fun. There's a new URL for stream. Yeah. And there's also a new URL for YouTube. So it's now everything is Rangedrifter. For Steam, not yet. I'm not sure if that will change, but maybe, probably. Yeah. So I'm still holding some updates on the socials and on Steam, of course, until the change is through. But yeah, I mean, it's maybe an hour of work left once the game's changed, and then that's done. Oh, my partner came up with an idea for your game, like snake and ladders, where you take a chance of either going forward or landing on a snake, and you go back down the board. Maybe you have portals that can either take you closer to the end or take you far back up. Let me look up snake and ladders. Wow, I've never played that. But I think what you mean is, oh, okay. I think that's it. Okay, I get it. Take a chance of going forward or landing on a snake and go back down the road. We have portals that can either take you close. That's a good idea, actually. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, so you roll a dice, and if you land on the start of the ladder, you go up the ladder to the end. So yeah, the goal is going all the way up, I guess. And if you land on a snake's head, you go all the way down to the tail. So it actually looks like a fun game. Maybe I'll buy that for my nieces. So it's a risk reward. Portals might give you a big advantage. There's a chance it can do the complete opposite. This actually, I mean, that has one aspect which I am missing in the game, which is player control over the path. I'm not sure if it's not too frustrating, because the cost of going back up in this game are relatively minor, but depending on how long the path is and how often you've been there, it might be too much. But portals that move you around, that might actually be something, yes. Let me take a note. And the risk reward thing is a really good idea in combination with that. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, thanks. That's a really good idea. It's really good input, and it's at a time where I'm thinking about the rules and the play around the path. Question: when you write on your notepad, do you write in English or Deutsch? It's in English. Yeah, it's all English. Not sure if you can read that. Not sure why, but I mean, it's probably because everything in the game has an English name, and it would be weird to try to wrap German around that. Yeah, also what I did today is I've researched. So YouTube completely made my shorts crap the bed. So I've researched hashtags and stuff, and maybe that'll get better. But today I found out YouTube is showing my shorts only to people in my vicinity. This it's crazy. Okay, 2 people I work with spoke Dutch, French, and both write in Dutch or French for their notes, but talk about everything in English. Oh, okay. I remember a discussion, a large piece of work in English sent me the notes that was all in French. The language me and the rest of the team don't speak. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, now that I'm streaming, I speak more English than I speak German day to day, and I've consumed nothing but English content for the past 10 years as well, so it feels pretty natural. Speak only in English and German. Yeah, I've learned French in school, but there's not much left. Yeah, that's how it goes. I vaguely remember having a Spanish class as well, but otherwise, I thought the portal idea was an interesting one. Yeah. Yeah, definitely is. So about the lore, I mean, it's not a spoiler. I've been thinking about it, and with the name Rangedrifter, what you are basically doing is there's this, as I described on this Steam page, there's this kingdom you're trying to get to, but they made this barrier around it, a vast barrier that's like a minefield, circular minefield around the kingdom, and it's of course they're not mines in the field, in the barrier, but there are these ever-changing paths all the way around the kingdom to shield it from the outside. And what you're doing is basically entering that barrier from one side, trying to get to the kingdom. And yeah, it'll be like there'll be warnings that say, okay, here the kingdom is shut for the outside world and you will die if you continue on, but In reality, of course, the kingdom has long collapsed, but the barrier is still there. So that's the law. Yeah, and for that I actually went outside today, sat in the sun a bit. So that was helpful, I guess. So yeah, I mean, the name is not perfect, but it's kind of generic, but it's 1,000 times better. And that's good enough, I think. Hopefully nobody comes up to me with the perfect name tomorrow after I changed everything. That would be really bad. But also kind of funny. Okay, let's not flashbang you any longer, and me. Sitting outside being an achievement is peak program attitude. Yeah. I mean, I like it outside. That's not a problem. It's just that, yeah, it's been so much work. And also it was winter, so it's only, I think today's the first warm day here. Yeah, controls. But yeah, I've written down the idea with the snakes and ladders. And now I know what the game is, and I'll always connect it with with the idea of your partner. Good. Update controls page. And actually, have you seen the movement animations that I've added? What do you think? The lerping. Is it better or worse than without? Smooth 100% better? Okay, nice. Better than without for sure. Okay. It's especially nice when, of course, now there are no... If I'm trying to show this off, there are no enemies, but when enemies move around you, it's... of course, it's night. The game's fighting me. Yeah, here. That's pretty cool. Okay, then I'll leave that in, because I wasn't 100% sure. Okay, new start key. And yeah, pushing boulders is now, you won't need a button for that, so that's in case someone forgets that that's possible. That might help a little bit at least. Okay, controls. How do I organize that? So I said no rebinding, but I can maybe consolidate this. Yeah, no button needed for boulders, nice, yeah. I think there might be still some edge cases with standing on an item and then moving a boulder, but I'll play test the game tomorrow and figure that out. What if I just update this? Let's remove the long dashes. They're pretty ugly. Render controls. Yeah. I've changed all the buttons. I don't know how to play the game anymore. Okay, controls. That's probably worse. I really don't have that much space on screen for text. Let's move the keyboard and gamepad up. I mean, I know that it's controls. Do I? That's not much better. Okay, thankfully PlayStation and Xbox have the same accept, cancel buttons. So I can actually remove that. I mean, keyboard players might suffer, but they'll figure it out. Wait, will they? Maybe not. Let's just call this move. Actually, that's hold. Take. Grab. Take. This is... That is aim. Yeah, maybe sort them by importance. Aim is D. Right, cancel is A. That's wrong. That's S. Inventory is tab. And that is escape. Controller is unchanged. How do you write D-pad? That? Let's just search for it on Google. So with a dash. Hopefully people know what that means. And then let's just call this use and this drop. I think I need the two sections, general and inventory. I think that's maybe okay. No, it's not. Tab character. Tab character in there. It's annoying. Okay. That is aligned. There's more space here. Let's see. Well, that's much more manageable. Grab, take. Let's say okay. Okay, gray is bad. Let's make this yellow. No. Let's make general blue and inventory brown, maybe. Controls. I think I can't do white. That's not pretty. Just pushing those around. Okay, I mean I can move the whole thing to the right. I can put this here. That's better. Making progress. Let's add 2 spaces. Great. Not here actually, but here. Let's call this bag. Inventory, that's in. I like short words. Let's try adding spaces. Dashes maybe? No. Because that's, yeah, it's really unreadable. Let me see if that's better if I change the / character. Where is it? There. That's even worse. Let's try a comma. I can't control them today. What was it? I think 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, that's better. Maybe give the inventory some space. No. Alright, that is... Let's add width. Width is... about 40. And then say x is window width divided by 2 minus width of the text by 2 times character width. That was too wide. Let's try 35. That's pretty good. And then height is the same thing. It's 11. And this. So this centers the thing in this center of the screen. So theoretically, if I'm not mistaken, that should now work with every kind of aspect ratio. Height divided by 2. Okay, working in the wrong direction. That's not bad. That's almost presentable. Let's make this yellow. Yeah, that's actually one thing I haven't thought about in ages, is if yellow is okay. I mean, basically, why not? But it's also not very, doesn't support the theme very much, but whatever. Plenty of time to fix that later. that skewed? I think it needs to move to the left a bit. That means more width. Actually, let's just make it 37 and then that's pretty good. Maybe one up. Is that down? That was down a bit. Nope. Okay. Now are these correct? Move and action. Grab, take, okay is F. That's true. Aim is D or X. Yup. But cancel S and B. Back is Y or tab. And yes, escape. I'm not sure what this button is called on the Xbox controller. I think I've looked that up before. Menu. It's called menu. Okay, I mean, it's pretty fortuitous because I can now, in the death screen, where am I? It should be here. Instead of press start, I can say press menu, because that's very correct now. Even for the keyboard. Okay, it feels like something's missing, but damn, where do I here? Render help, okay. Nope. Yep. just pushing pixels. Okay, that looks pretty good. I wouldn't be mad if I released that. Let's call that done. Okay. What to do next? Vulnerable impulse that is postponed. Oh yeah, these text at the start. So as I told you just a couple of minutes ago, there's this barrier, and you enter the barrier from this island. And in here I would want to have an inscription that warns the player. Maybe here, something. Or I just, when the player touches that thing, I show the text, but it could get annoying. I'm also thinking about spawning the player not all the way down by the boat, but here. And leaving the boat where it is, and with you can go down there if you want to. Maybe I place secrets here after you've died enough times, for example. But spawning the player here, and then they just have to walk over there. But I want the warning. Maybe I make it look like the path stones, but this just another color. Where are they? Great. That actually looks not bad. Okay, but nobody finds it here. Have to add that there. I'm not convinced. But if I put it here, with a sparkler on top. I have one. Not really. But yeah, this, I mean, you will collide with this thing. If I make this another color, yeah, you still see that pretty well. That's actually pretty good. So let's note the sprite was here. That's 320 sand color. And I wonder if I can just reuse the, not sure how you pronounce it, but I think it's Stellies or Steelies. I can reuse this steel. Stelly. That's a hard one to infer how you would say that. Let's go to structs. I actually don't need to go to structs. I need to go to externals. That's just globals. And here, let's give this the 320 treatment. Let's call it mural. Or maybe, yeah, I want to change this. Well, I need multiple. Let's just leave it. Talk. And here is the text. Yeah, these other texts are out of date. These as well. Yeah, so let's put the thing on in the temple. Here. That's of course a stupid name. Let's rename this to just what do I call this? Cracked mirror, something like that. Okay, and then I need to write the text. That is let's just write the bad version and then improve it. The kingdom is shut. All that pass shall perish. Turn back. Or be forever lost. Can you even say that kingdom is shut? But sounds dramatic. It kind of sounds like Gandalf. Just not that good. Okay, I'm still in the controls. That's over. Yeah. Why is it breaking the text so badly? Let's turn this, break this text up into 3 lines. Mainly So I can test if this works. If the dialogue thing still works. Okay, it's kind of comical, but might be the exclamation marks. I mean, with the addition of the faint text title, it's actually not that bad. And let's make this a thing you step on. Okay, this is 3011. I'd like this to be more like a... Let's just paint it actually correct color, like this. But then with these sparklers. Yeah. But then that breaks the path stones. Actually, I can leave this stone right there. I can just paint that on the floor. Okay. Are we? Paint. Paint. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's check that in. And then let me go to the bathroom real quick. Oh god, my leg fell asleep. Right, I'll be right back. Okay, what's next? Show input prompts. Don't think so. Help screen is pretty good now. Did this one as well. Okay, I could do that next. Improve the death screen with stats. But what kind of stats? Obviously monsters killed. And destroyed, chests opened, arrows shot, animals killed, traps triggered, corpses looted, portions drunk, medicines drunk, boulders pushed, bushes chopped, enemies surprised. That's asleep. Then of course turns taken. That's a lot already. So that's pretty good. What kind of a dead end is this? It's not a dead end. Let's call one near-death experiences. That's 1 health after damage. Level reached. Path percentage completed. What else? I mean, I have to... Those are quite a few. Have to limit it to just what's interesting. I think right now there's... Not sure. I mean, I can put an icon before all of these. So I can't fill the whole screen. Oh yeah, reason for the death. Is that interesting? I mean, right now it's just you were killed by a monster, an enemy, or you were killed by a trap, or you were... or you died by died of poison. I mean, still fun. Oh, secrets found. Can I calculate how many there were in the path? That would be fun. But that's pretty complicated. Am I missing an important one? Don't think so. Doors opened. Okay, let's sift them out for ones that are easily trackable. Let's check out the structs and let's add a new struct. Let's call it metric. And number of turns. Pair of enemies. killed. Actually, before I fill this up, let's make the function that collects all this. Ending. Okay, this is rendering, but I want this. This is the update function. Actually, there won't be a function. Yeah, it's fine. But let's maybe create the data and immediately add where it's collected. So here the hero turn increases, so let's say metric turn is hero turn. External.c. Okay, let's add it here. Struct metric. Set statistics, maybe. Okay, after turn, then enemies. That's in attack. Killed by hero. Metrics, enemy, plus plus. And also I have to reset the metrics. Oh, and I need to save the metrics in the save game. Can I do that here? Yeah, it would be only here. Ah, yeah, that's a better place. So let's put it in the save file. This is reading, so let's write it first. I think that's it. Maybe something like that. Okay. Then the next one. That was enemies, turns, level. Great. Yeah, here. Okay. Next one is percentage of the path completed. That is a bit more tricky. For that I need to I need to do that here. Or yeah, this is more natural. If the entity is not the hero, then they can't step on there, but else. Actually, let's make this an explicit if statement. Even though I don't need to. It's more visible this way. So, okay, I need to move this down. Need to know that this succeeded. And there's the test, okay. So it's already there. So the test is, well, it's not a test. Test was the if statement. The task is What percentage of the path did the player just step on? And I have the code somewhere. I think it's, what was it? It was a shrine. No. Okay, I know it was a path stone or a sign, okay. So all these stones, they changed their text depending on how deep into the path they are. They didn't talk. Oh, it is. So yeah, that's the code. I get the path. And then why is this working? Okay. Map path is +1. Okay, that's fair. So this, oh god. Yeah, makes sense. I don't want this. I want this. Then I get from 0 to 1. And then I multiply that by 100. And cast it to an integer. Okay, path is recorded. Next. Secrets found. That is wall. Urns destroyed. That's all here. Are they even still called urn? No. Vase. Yeah, I'll have to add that. I was thinking about adding an array here to index into with the object ID, but these are in the thousands, so that won't fly. Okay, careful with copy and paste. That's, well, arrow's shot is something different. Kind is animal. Hmm. Corpses booted. Okay. Then I have potions drunk. That's an item. Med potion. Traps, yeah, that's a good one. And then arrows shot. That's actually in game, I think. Bow, there it is. Attack, pop an arrow, and then that increases. Okay. Boulders pushed. Not sure. That's in game here. That's where I am. Push. Then pull. Okay. And then let's say damage. That's the same word both ways. That's not that good. Um, where it's an entity. Damage. There it is. Matrix, damage taken is equals dm. And then tag and that is also dm. Okay. So these are done as well, but then I need the reason, the death reason. I think that's not that easy. I mean, if I could just say, okay, if you call the damage function, you have to say who did the damage. But that seems a bit excessive, but that would cover it. Unless I bypass the damage function, but then then that's my fault. Because yeah, all damage should go through this function. Let's see how many times that function is called. It's actually not that often. So I could just pass in a string and record that in the matrix. Give this a buffer. name of that's maybe too easy. That's better than nothing. Okay, that means, oops, what's this? Wrong file, functions. And then damage. I'm back. What are you currently doing? I am adding metrics for the death screen. So, how many potions you've drunken, how many monsters you've killed, etc. Inspired by you, I removed LSPs from my editor. Have a much simpler configuration now. LSPs are those language servers, but I've heard of them, but I don't know what they are. But I guess they provide auto. What is it? Autocomplete. They provide go-to definition and error messages. Oh, okay. Some provide syntax highlighting and autocomplete. Ah, okay. And error messages means they check the code while you're typing, I guess. Damage. That makes sense. Yeah, they check for unused vars and so on, but I'm not relying on the Go compiler for that. They're unironically an HTTP server that sends JSON back and forth. Yeah, makes sense when they have server in the name, but yeah, okay, I didn't know that. That's actually a server. That's funny. Yeah, I mean for languages like JavaScript, that might actually be helpful. Or PHP. Yeah, because debugging in PHP is a nightmare. Damage. Message. Okay, if the hero took damage. Yeah, that's what I want. String copy. Where am I? Come on. String copy. But I'm sure your editor runs better without them. I would bet on that. String copy metrics. string buffer message. And then Matt Len something bad, very bad name, horrible even. Let's keep it. Can't think of a better one. And then that should be it. Now I have to update all the function calls. Game. Okay, this is hunger. Or should I? Oh, this is starvation. Just have to think about the sentence. This is still really cluttering up the code, but can always slim this down again. Did it say declared identifier I? Makes sense. Okay. Fire. Oh, I don't want to add. Oh god. Okay, that's 0. What was the other thing? Damage color, starvation, that's hero only. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is hero only. This is null, so I have to guard for that. So the fire does damage to everything, but I only want to record. I only want to overwrite the death reason for the player if it was actually the player that was damaged. So I'll pass null for everything else. But in the damage function, I have to actually check for null now. That should do it. Yeah. Okay. This is hero. Spikes. That is trap. That gets a null. So brambles attack. Well, that's defending. And this is null. That's better. This is more tricky. This is if the defender is the hero. Oh, that's confusing. The defender is the hero. If the hero is the defender, if the hero is being attacked, then pass in the name of the attacker. That means, yeah, that's actually wrong, directly wrong. The attacking entity, the object data of that entity, and the name in that data. So if the hero is the defender, then pass in the name of the attacker as the death reason. Otherwise, null. Okay, what's that? Web. Why to take damage in the web? Okay. Yeah. Set here. Why didn't I name it corpse? Weird. Struct. Actually, let's change that. Almost done. Of course, I have to render all of this. But first, let's check if it even records all the stuff. Okay, not many files left not to check out. Well, this, oh, that one's checked out. Okay, let's see if it explodes. It would be nice if it gave me monsters. Okay, that's good. Good. Okay. Oh God. Add metrics. I'm still not rendering them, but I'm quick saving my code. Okay. Over. Okay. Here's the rendering code. So actually, let's combine those, because why not? For now, that's fine. Until I have a better idea. And how do I approach this? So I don't have that much space. So I will need to use icons. I could put them in columns, maybe 4 columns. Then, depending on whether this is the ending screen or the death screen, there's another, the title in the center above the columns is different, and that's it. So I would need 4 columns. Let's look at what I have. Or maybe make it 3. Not sure if I can divide those by a theme. So there may be consumption. That would be that. That. And that. And then there would be, well, actually, would be attack stuff. Drop triggered. Those maybe go over here. Vases and chests. And then miscellaneous up here. Or general, maybe. Or you could maybe divide it into output and input or something. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Okay, general, turn, level, path, secrets. Boulders are kind of just lying around here. It's kind of goes into combat. But that's not bad. Let's do it this way. Maybe let's sort them each. Okay, turns, percentage of path, level, damage taken, secrets found, boulders pushed maybe. And then enemies, animals. Let's move traps here maybe. It doesn't have to make that much sense. Okay, that's good enough. Game ending. So this goes below. And this goes above. So that's kind of okay. Let's just place this vaguely. And then between those two, I will have to place an icon and the value that's similar to the inventory. Icon. And then the value, but that will have to be formatted string. And let's say, actually let's make a function. That's going to be too much. Let's pass on the title to cover both ending and death screen. Let's just write something stupid so that I have something. Okay. That's actually not working. String. And then let's add all the data. And let's make it movable. So x is no dot width times 0.3. Actually, that's a bad idea. Let's make it relative to the center again. Let's do one row and then test it. So that's x minus 1, y plus equals. So it moves down. Yeah, that's the character. Let's look at what we have. That is turns. Let's make it super simple for now. Just so I get something on screen. This is x, y plus character height. Oh, that's actually not plus equal. This is the turn. Actually, can I? That doesn't work. I cannot %c printf a character outside the ASCII range. So I'll have to have this extra call to render character. That's fine. So next one is path. That is, it's a float actually. Level. We should actually explain these. Let's keep this one here. Let's say turns. Percentage. Cleared. And then level. What comes after that? Damage. Dealt. Okay, let's set up a death trap so I can test the death screen. Shouldn't be too hard. Just a couple of kobolds. And, yeah, I should make it diverse for testing reasons. And a couple of traps. A wolf turns 3 clear damage dealt. Sounds good. That's a pretty good start. Let's capitalize these. Starvation, poison. That should be it, I guess. Yeah, entertain game. Okay. Let's continue. That was the first column. And let's move that further over. Maybe I can do it with just text. Okay. Medicine and then traps. And then boulders. Questions. Do you have multiple versions of the same hat? I have two, yes. One's gray and one is black. Okay, let's move into the test room to die. And that's almost perfect. Without looking. Just the upper text should move. Okay, I thought my screen was playing up because I was sure that your head was black. No, I have a gray one as well. Yeah, let's move that title. Why is it so far? Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. There's nothing to do. It's this lower one that's correctly positioned. Wait, it has the same width. Okay, must be the formatted rendering. No idea. Okay, a bit to the right. Let's make this 8, a bit down. Okay. And the whole other stuff -4. Okay, let's make this -2. Oops. Come on. This is pretty fidgety. I mean, if everything would move up on one character, then that would be perfect, I think. So that means 2. Oh, actually, this one has to be the same. Kind of. Okay, 1 up. That's 4. That's where it was. And this one is as well. -3. I'd say that's good. I'm going to die. Great. Love the sets menu, thanks. Yeah, it's fun. Not sure if I should show how much the player has cleared, but yeah, they can read it on the stones. Cleared percentage, yeah, it's kind of, don't know, feels spoilery, but might be fine. Because the path that was cleared by 2% is gone anyway, so doesn't really matter. That path is gone for good. I should calculate how many permutations of the path I can get. If it's 1,000 or 10,000 or more, because I'm not sure actually. Wait, I could, if I knew math, I could calculate it pretty easily, because I have 500 or so patches. And each of them has around 3 exits. And I have 100 patches in the path. Then, yeah, no chance. No chance I get that I get a solution for that. But it should be solvable. I could dump it into AI. Let's ask Google. I'm not sure if not sure if AI can do math, but anyways, let's try. I have 500 nodes, and each node has 3 connections to its neighbors. I also have a path that runs through the nodes, never intersecting itself until it reaches a length of 100 nodes. If I place the start of the path on a random node and let the path randomly pick neighbor till it reached. It's more complicated than I thought. If I place the starter of the path on a random node and then let the path randomly pick a neighbor until it reaches its target length of 100, then colon how many different paths can exist these 500 nodes. Okay, it says that was amazingly fast, but it says it's 2 to the power of 98. But it also says it's the theoretical maximum. Also, it's answering in German. That's confusing me. Yeah, don't think that's true. So it says it's a it's a number with 32 zeros, but that's let's not trust that. But it's large probably. Okay. I will test that tomorrow, I think. Yeah. So I'll slowly end stream by pushing all my changes. add stats to ending screen. Struct. Okay. So that was ending screen. Something else? Don't think so. Yeah, my to-do list is kind of a mess. But I haven't had time to clean it up again. Actually, I only did that a couple of days ago. Wondering if I should make a short today with everything in flux. With the name change. So that's a good idea. I mean, not sure if it's useful. But yeah. Let me see what I did for the shorts. Yeah, actually, YouTube is putting my shorts, presenting my shorts only to people in my vicinity. And there are a couple of things you can do to remedy that. But yeah, I mean, this is a niche game that needs a global audience. Otherwise that's not going to work. Yeah, so people here in southern Germany are not the target audience. Let's say that much. Yeah, so but I've researched some hashtags, and apparently you have to set the language of the short to English every time explicitly, and turn off automatic places and stuff. And hopefully that works, because yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's because it's confusing, because well, on the one hand, it's not confusing. People are watching YouTube shorts not because they want to know about a obscure video game. But yeah, the case is that most people swipe away. Now, right now, at least. That wasn't always the case. But they swipe away from immediately, basically, and that kills the short. And on the one hand, sure, if you're watching shorts, then getting sent a video of my game, I'd probably swipe away too. But why can't YouTube send the shorts to the correct people? YouTube has all the information. I know there are people out there that are interested, because I see the comments that I get. So there is an audience, but YouTube is just stupid and sends it to people in my neighborhood. So yeah, I mean it's a bit frustrating, but it's the frustrating part is not that I don't get views. That's, I mean, it's a bit frustrating, but the frustrating bit is that you have no insight into what YouTube is doing. It's really crazy. Now I understand the content creators that say that they're on the whim of the algorithm, because it really is that way. But yeah, I mean, on the other hand, is of course providing global reach, so, and an audience in the first place. So that's all fine, of course. Just would like to peek behind the scenes and see how the algorithm works. Okay, let's save this. And then, well, now I have to update 2 websites. Let's remove this folder. Yeah, updated that. Writable exists. Kidding me? Okay, here we are. Oh god, what did I do today? Proceed with name change. Update socials. Why did I do all that today? I think so. Um, what else? And move animations. That's better. Better help menu. Oops, my internet has decided to go down then. Wait, is mine still alive? Always scared of my internet. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I'm slowly going offline. Actually, is it your stream? My bitrate is fine. Twitch says my bitrate is excellent. Unusual, but yeah. But help menu, and then I added add metrics, run metrics to end screen. Mural to start temple. Must be my internet. Audio is fine, video isn't so good. 100% my internet. Oh no, that's my internet. I was just going to say that sounds like it's on my end. Yeah, my internet is dying again. It just jumped to red. I'm sorry, but I'm going offline anyways in a second, so. Yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the name change done. And then I can update the rest of the stuff that I need to. I actually think my service provider is throttling me. Because this jump is suspicious. Jump in bitrate. But anyways, thank you for watching. Ethan and Andre, if you're still here. And if you can hear me through the bad bitrate. No worries, I'll be missing tomorrow's stream as I'm out with work, and possibly Saturdays if you're alive, as I'm heading to the hockey shop to buy new skates. That sounds exciting. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll just be toiling away, and maybe I'll take a day off as well one of these days. So yeah, then have fun tomorrow and on Saturdays. So catch you possibly Saturday. Gonna quickly put the washing into the dry and then call it a night. Take care, pal. Yeah, I'm off as well. So have a good night. See you next time. So yeah, that's it for me. Let me. Yeah, my bitrate is so bad. Doesn't make sense to keep this on any longer. So thanks for watching all the way, even though my internet died again. But I always press the wrong one. Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow.